I'm fighting in a few hours. Well, that didn't really go as planned, did it? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you've been following my channel, I have been training Muay Thai for just over 2 years. Recently, I competed in my very first Interclub fight, or they call it a development day. Just for some context, it was the last Muay Thai session for the year before closing down for Christmas and New Year's, and coach came out with a registration form for people who were interested in fighting an Interclub fight. I had the feeling that if I wasn't to do this, I would never do it. I just needed to do it, if that makes sense. So without thinking too much about it, I put my name down, put down how much I weigh, how many years I've been training, and I left without thinking anything further of it and enjoyed our little break in Canberra. Preparing for the fight, I didn't really do too much in terms of increasing volume. I usually train Muay Thai about 3 times a week and accompany that with strength training in the gym. But recently, Lang and I have added some extra cardio, more high intensity, so anything to do with the assault bike, which is terribly painful at the time, but you feel really good after you finish. The rower, ski erg, stepper, that sort of thing. So I think my cardio had improved slightly, but like I said, I hadn't really upped the ante with my training or done a full camp, so to speak. Practicing sparring, we usually do sparring towards the end of every Muay Thai class, which is just kind of playful sparring, about 30 to 40%, focusing on technique and fast movements. Now, the day of the fight, I was so nervous. So nervous. Oh my God. No, should be okay. So it's only 50 to 60% of power, so nothing too crazy. Although usually at these interclubs, people go harder than they usually need to. And I just checked the list and I'm first up. Bit scared. I haven't looked into, I saw the name and the girl is actually from Rama1 Gym. I haven't psyched myself out and tried looking into her background or anything like that. So I'm just gonna go in blind and treat it as a good learning experience. As much as I would like to win, I also just want to get some good experience of maybe what my strengths are, some of my weaknesses, so I know what I need to do in the future. So to let off some steam, I decided to go to the gym and do 30 minutes on the assault bike. So basically just moderate pace and sprinkling a few 20 to 30 second 90% sprints in there. I don't think this is a good idea for future reference because my legs were absolutely cooked for the rest of the day and it was a late afternoon / evening fight. So probably best to not do that and stay fresh before the fight. Also, my class time is at 12 p.m. in midday, so that's the best time for me to go as I have a break from my morning and afternoon clients. So generally I'm training on an empty stomach, but because the Interclub fight was actually happening in the afternoon, I had already had some food, had some noodles, so I was kind of feeling a little bit heavy, but had a little bit of a break of eating between lunch and the fight. Rocking up to the gym, it was a pretty cool gym actually, like really good setup. The ring is quite big. It was my first time actually going into and fighting in a proper ring. Usually we're just sparring on the mats. The people were really nice, the registration was really easy. They have an area upstairs where all the fighters can go up and warm up using their equipment there. So I was feeling pretty warm and I had a lot of my fellow fighters that come to the classes that I go to, they were all there too. So it kind of made me feel at ease. Now I was actually supposed to go first up, which I was really nervous about, but at the same time, I was kind of excited because it would mean that I wouldn't have to watch any other fights to either psych myself out. I don't know what I was thinking, but I kind of just wanted to rip the band-aid off and get it done. But unfortunately, our coach was running a little bit late, so I ended up getting pushed back to 5th, which was still pretty early, and I was going to be the first person to fight from our gym. Now this was interesting because I had all of my gear, my equipment, it was full gear on, so basically shin guards, mouth guard, gloves, no headgear or anything, just what you're used to training with, and obviously a cup for the guys. But when I came out with my own gloves, they told me to put theirs on. So I think for consistency purposes, everyone's got different types of gloves and different ounces. So to keep it fair, everyone had to use the same gloves that they provided, which were actually really, really soft. So anytime I got punched in the face, I didn't actually feel anything. I've got no injuries whatsoever, which it makes sense to me because if you want to keep it fair. But the only problem is I wouldn't have wanted to be one of the last people to fight because the gloves were getting pretty sweaty and gross by then. Even when I put them on, there was quite a bit of sweat in there. So we were the only girl fight. It was all guys. And the gym actually made a post on their Instagram that it was going to be a development day, so they were only going to be sparring 50 to 60%, focusing on technique and practicing. But when you say 50 to 60%, you can almost guarantee that people are going to add an extra 20 to 30% on top of that. Some people were going quite light, whereas others were just absolutely trying to knock each other's block off, which was definitely more entertaining to watch, but you can tell that there was some serious shots being thrown. My fight, I would say that we were pretty evenly matched. We both had our own strengths and weaknesses. I would say that my kicks are probably my strength, whereas my hands were non-existent. Essentially, the best way that I can put this is that despite practicing so many different types of combos and techniques in the gym, nothing prepares you for the adrenaline and fear and excitement that you're going to feel in the ring. It was 3 2-minute rounds, and oh my God, those 2 minutes felt like forever. I think I also maybe psyched myself out about appearance because I'm quite unassuming when it comes to my appearance. I don't really look like a fighter. I just look like a girl that's into boxing fit or something. Whereas the other girl looked like she was super tan, very kind of fit and strong looking. So I kind of looked at her, I was like, oh my God, she's from Thailand. She's gonna absolutely knock my block off. Whereas her hands were really good. She cracked me quite a few times in the body, in the face, but her kicks were probably not as good or as responsive as mine. Looking back at the footage, I think I was just too excited from the whole environment, people cheering us on. There was Thai fighting music playing at the same time. So it didn't feel like a normal sparring session where I'm kind of locked into my opponent. It was a lot going on. Everything just kind of went out the window. Everything that I had been taught. I could hear my coach in my corner and he was yelling out things to do, which I was trying to do as responsively as I could, but there was just some parts where I was almost in just survival mode and just waiting for a counter. The first round, I was tired, but it wasn't anything too crazy after normal sparring. Coach gave me some water and gave me some things that I need to put into practice for the following rounds, like using combos, setting kicks up, not relying on my left kick, which I always do because it is my stronger, more versatile leg to work with.
That's it. You gotta get the body kicks now. Yeah. It's going through.
You can see that she cracked me a few times. It's funny because I felt my head go back and I'm like, but it's not painful at all because the gloves are really soft. I think my left leg was super responsive. I'm usually able to throw off a roundhouse kick and then turn it into a teep if it misses. By the last round, I was absolutely gassed. The most gassed I've ever been. It was almost like doing a full 2-minute sprint on the assault bike. If you've ever done the assault bike, then you absolutely understand what I'm talking about. If you haven't, maybe you should try it out. But I was super gassed.
Good, come on, again. Good. It's working when you're going.
Let's go, come on. Oh, nice. Yeah, nice, go.
Good, yep.
The outcome, we tied, yay! Look, as much as I wanted to win, I also just wanted to go there and have that first experience of putting myself into an uncomfortable position. I think the only way to really grow and develop is to put yourself in uncomfortable positions so that you can learn and so that you can grow from it. Here's my little medal. So super excited that I was able to get medal. So even though, yeah, it was a tie, I'm really happy with that outcome for my first fight. So now that I have done the uncomfortable thing, I always think of things that I should have done during the fight, which is probably a good thing, but not something that I should beat myself up over. It's all part of the learning process. The 3 things that I need to work on to be a better fighter all round and improve my chances of winning future interclubs and development days. 1, cardio. Cardio, cardio, cardio. This is the most important thing in Muay Thai. The reason being is that because there is so much excitement and so much adrenaline, you can definitely gas yourself out too easy, especially if you're trying to match the energy of your opponent. So if they're going hard, you can't respond with 50 to 60% power. And if you're not prepared for that with your cardio, then you're just going to absolutely gas out, and it's going to feel harder to connect your movements, which is definitely what I was struggling with by the 3rd round. So yeah, cardio is absolutely underrated in this sport. Number 2 is boxing, and remembering my boxing combos to set up my kicks. Kicks are definitely my strong point, but my boxing was absolute garbage. I forgot about everything. I throw punching combos in normal sparring, but for some reason I just absolutely blanked out and was really just relying on responding to her kicks, maybe doing 1 counter punch every once in a while, but it was just nowhere near where I should have been. So boxing is going to be a major focus for me moving forward. And number 3, whilst I said that my kicks are my strong point, I was barely throwing any of my right kick, and when I did, it was always a leg kick for some reason. It's definitely not an overrated way to win a fight, because if you've got an absolutely nasty leg kick, you can destroy someone's legs before you even finish the fight. But there were so many times where she would jab and leave herself open where I could easily counter with a right kick to her body, but I just didn't take those opportunities, and I would just always go for a right leg kick, which didn't really do too much damage, only if I got her in the right angle. My overall thoughts on how it all went, to be honest, I'm pretty happy with how I went. I'm super excited about how everyone from our gym went. There were 8 of us fighting with 6 wins and 2 draws. I was one of those draws. So that's a all-round really good outcome for our gym. I definitely want to do more interclub fights in the future, and I think now that I've done this and just kind of ripped the band-aid off, I know what to expect now, and I know what is required in terms of training in preparing for a fight. I just want to say a huge thanks to Rama1 Gym for organising the development day at their gym. It was a really cool experience, and the people there were super nice, super welcoming. I actually spoke to my opponent at the end and she was really lovely. So I think it's great for experience, and you don't have to do interclub fights if you're obviously concerned about getting an injury or feeling like you can't put enough time aside to really focus on training and getting yourself conditioned before a fight. If you are thinking about it, definitely go and support your fellow fighters in their interclub fights, and just so you can actually get a feel of what it's like and whether you want to put yourself in that situation. But if you want to improve and really test where your skills are at, because unlike jiu-jitsu or karate or martial arts like that, where you're able to move up and be ranked in different belt colors, unfortunately with Muay Thai, there's nothing like that. So you really need to be able to fight different types of opponents to really see where you're at in terms of skill level. And if you are wanting to test where you're at, definitely sign yourself up for an interclub fight. Make sure you have a chat to your coach about that first. But anyway, that's it for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed watching me get punched and kicked. Hopefully I've inspired some of you to sign up for your very first interclub fight, or maybe even just start Muay Thai to challenge yourself. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and comment down below if you're thinking of signing up to an interclub fight, because good luck if you are. But until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.